Hello, this is Grant Hughes of Grant Hughes Investigates on YouTube. Please hit that like button, share, and subscribe. Today's video is going to be an interesting video regarding some new information that was shared with me. And I think if you add this information to the overall picture of the Caleb Harris case, you'll see that things make a little more sense. And I think that manhole cover on the Mound has nothing to do with anything. And that's kind of what I was pointing out in my last video regarding the fact that there was a worker that apparently inspected it on April 17th, the same day that there was a video. And it could have just been that when these girls took a videotape of the manhole cover being off, they called authorities or got a hold of somebody, and then they sent out one of the city workers and they inspected it and didn't find anything. And that's what I think exactly is what happened, because it's a 15-inch pipe down here. So let's take a look at some of that new information right now. So apparently there were some people watching. They were sharing my video and they said, I think you're traveling. They were talking to a friend. Gray just put out a great video, but someone needs to send him the video of the body. I think he still thinks it's decomposed parts and not a partial body, pretty much. Yeah, that's true. I thought it was more like body parts. That's kind of how they describe it. I mean, I guess even if it's a larger body part, not a full body, it's still a part of a body, but it seems like it's a larger piece of a body. So yeah, definitely agree with that. So let's look at this Mound situation here again. So remember, there's a mound right here, and there's a video out there that shows a manhole cover that has the manhole cover off, and they were there, and the video was uploaded at 4:17. So perhaps the video was shot earlier, and then they called somebody, and then the inspector came out, and they pretty much uploaded at the same time that that inspector came out to look at the pipes or the manhole that's there. And on a show the other day, like I was showing you the other day, I had a line going right across, just because I thought maybe that looks like a, if you line that hole up with the Mound, it does go right over to where the pump is. And this is like it brings in sewage, and then I guess it elevates it and then pumps it out towards the facility out here called the Greenwood Wastewater Treatment Plant. So I'm just kind of filling you in on this information again because I have it more accurately dialed in at this point. So let's put the pipes over the top, the map right here, and you can see the cross section right here where it makes the T is not on the Mound. It's actually on the road over here, just off the side of the road. And that means that this pipe still goes underneath, right underneath the Mound. Now if we go out to this website and we take a look, I just know by going over this multiple times, and the T is right in this location right there. Okay, so the apartment complex that Caleb Harris lived in is right over in this area. So if we were going back to the map, see, he lived in this apartment complex over here, the cottages, and you can see the straight line, and like this, and then that pipe that's right here, right? So this is interesting. If you click right there, this is a different pipe, and you can see down here it's 15 inches, and then right there, that's right in the middle of where the Mound would be. Then you click on right there, and it's a different pipe, but it's also 15 inches. So they must name even, you have a manhole, then a pipe goes into the vertical cylinder, and then another one exits it, and I'm sure those are referred to as different pipes. So you can see that's exactly where the Mound would have been, and that's a 15-inch pipe, and I do not think that Caleb Harris would be able to fit down a 15-inch pipe. He seems like he's, pretty larger guy. He's strong. You get him into the manhole, and then how does he make it into that little 15-inch pipe? I mean, hold up 15 inches. most people's shoulders are wider than 15 inches. I absolutely, at this point, I don't think he went in there at all. That's my opinion. So let's look over here. This is right where the pump house is, right here. So this pipe right here, going off of the 15-inch pipe, is also 15 inches. So it goes like that, and I think there's like 2 layers of pipes here maybe. But anyways, from here, there's a 15-inch pipe that goes that direction. Now the one exiting the pump house is a 10-inch pipe size. And that's what it sounds like if you read some of these documents, that's what it's like. It's a smaller pipe exiting the pump house. And then that makes it back out into this much larger pipe here. I think it's right in this location. That's an 18-inch pipe. So I think from the pump house, it goes into the 18-incher, perhaps. I'm just guessing, and that's what's being sent out to the waste treatment plant. I mean, that's just my opinion. I'm sure somebody that's actually been doing this a long time would know better. All right, so let's take a look at this information. A lot of people think that the remains were more body parts, but that's nearly a whole body. Yes, we just read that a minute ago. Now here is a screenshot of the well itself, and there's a body in the water face down. I've blurred it out, but it appears that there's like the buttocks is right in this area, and that's one leg going that way and a leg going that way, and a torso right around in that area. So that would have a very difficult time making it into this pump house. What I think is going on here is that the body was in this pump house, in this well here, and decomposition occurred over time, and then some of the limbs and smaller body parts, law enforcement believed, were then shipped out to the waste treatment plant. That's why they went and looked over there. There could be intermediate areas where it got, body parts got stuck and they just haven't made it there yet. And it's also possible that they found body parts in that location. We don't know the answer to that. But this is the well here. Now, take a look at this. I didn't believe at first when I saw that image that that was really an image. I mean, why would they be releasing an image of a body in a pump house so quickly like that? I mean, this image was out a few days ago, and I just didn't believe what it was. But I was sent the video of this, and I'm going to show you an edited version of it. And so this is, if you look at the very beginning of it, it's right down in that hole there. So see down there? That's actually an open, a square, and that's down into that well. It's just panned up a little bit. And if you go to the further down into the video, you pan to the left, you can see the cement that this guy's sitting on is curved. It's an oval shaped, so sort of like a patio almost, right? And then this is a square, right? See, it's got an edge that's kind of a rusty metal edge. And then the top to the well has been removed, all right? But you can see it plainly, and then see the fence in the background there? So I think that this proves that it is the pump house. Watch this. So you come down here and look at how it has that square right there, surrounded by probably the rusty outer part. This square here was removed. And notice the kind of circular or, curved patio that's right there. And then also there's a fence. So that guy in the video was standing or sitting right here. And there was another person standing right there looking into there with a flashlight. Okay, so it really, that's what convinced me that that video is from this pump house and is likely an authentic video. Somebody probably filmed it and then put it out there on the internet by maybe giving it to somebody else, and they give it to somebody else, and it finally made it out onto the internet like things always seem to do. All right, so I'm convinced that that is a torso and legs in the water, inside the well, inside that pump house. And I believe that somebody put him in that well, not in a pipe, nothing else. I think he was put inside the well inside the pump house. Now, I guess it's possible that he just wandered over there and he decided to go in there, and it just doesn't make any sense. I mean, who would do that? Jump over a fence, check to see if a door on a pump house is open by himself. Yeah, but anything is possible. So let's take a look at this right here. According to a post in the Facebook group by an engineer in Texas who designed these pump stations, the only way was for someone to put him in there. Yes, and that makes sense. Now here's a longer post by an individual. It might be the same one. It says, yes, I'm a registered professional civil engineer in the state of Texas and have designed many of lift stations and sewer collections similar to the ones in question. The City of Corpus Christi Infrastructure Design Manual, available online, requires all wastewater manholes to be 32 inches in diameter. This is plenty of space for a human body. Also, they require lift stations to be built per TCEQ standards, meaning they must be locked and have either a 6-foot chain link fence with barbed wire or an 8-foot wooden fence. And we just showed that the pump house in this case actually has a barbed wire fence. Only someone with proper credentials would have access to this site. If he did fall or was put into an uncovered manhole to flow by gravity to the lift station, the body would have blocked the flow to the lift station, signaling the operator to investigate the issue. See, and that kind of shows that there was never a blockage for a while for them to come investigate, so he was likely just put into the well area. These types of facilities have real-time tracking where you can see which pumps are running, at which rate, for how long, levels in the lift station, etc., which again would signal the operator that there was an issue if there was a body in the wet well. Most lift stations are 6, 8, 10, 12, or 14 feet in diameter and are basically a large concrete manhole with pumps in the bottom. Some cities require one access hatch to all pumps. Typical size would be 30 inches by 48 inches, for example, depending on types of pumps, etc., or they will require a single access hatch for all pumps. Standard size would be like 24 to 30 inches, typically depending on the size of pumps, etc. Wastewater flows by gravity to the lift station in larger diameter pipes and then is pumped to the plant by a pressurized smaller diameter force main. Most force mains are 4 inches to 12 inches. And remember, we just said that that one pipe was 10 inches, so maybe that's exactly what that is in diameter. So not sure how he could have been pumped through the pump. Most pumps can only handle solid with a max diameter of 3 inches to be at the plant. Also, most plants have a headworks, aka MSTAL screen of some sort to filter out larger solids. Maybe this is where the remains were found. Gravity lines can be larger, 8 inches to 24 inches, but a human body would restrict flow and signal an issue at the pump station. So I guess up in this area where it says gravity to the lift station in larger diameter pipes, and then is pumped to the plant. So I would think that would be the treatment plant, right? So that means that's what's pumped through that little, probably the 10-inch pipe. So I think he's talking about why did they check the waste treatment plant? Because it seems like it'd be difficult for body parts to fit through, 4 inches to 12 inches, but, maybe 10 inches, a hand or something like that. So maybe they went and checked there. It's more likely that the whole body is sitting inside that well, or perhaps some body parts had left. I know this is kind of a morbid conversation, but it just is what it is. All right, here's another new piece of information. He didn't have a close relationship with his parents like they want everyone to believe. His lifestyle didn't fit their ideal. Yeah, and I've seen that. I know that they don't want the Reddit information out there. I was actually asked by somebody not to keep talking about the Reddit information, but I feel like it's absolutely important to talk about the Reddit information because I think that's the single most important clue that came out in this case is the fact that he at 2:15 at night was putting out a post that said, Oso Bay hiking trail. He wanted to meet somebody that night, and it was 2:15 in the morning. And as we know, remember, at 2:20 his roommate goes to sleep, and then 2:44 he's outside. He takes a picture with the dog. He's walking it, sends it to his sister. Then at 2:45 he orders Uber Eats, and then he brings the dog back inside the house, or maybe he was already right back at the house at 2:45. And then law enforcement wanted to know, why did he go out again? And that was always like, yeah, why would he do that? Until we saw the Reddit post. That's exactly the time when I went, boom, they've got the answer. And I think law enforcement is really into the Reddit post and where that leads, etc. They're probably waiting for various warrants to come in so they can actually get the information. And here's another one. Caleb wasn't doing well in school. In fact, he had scaled back to online classes only because he was failing and trying to do online stuff to bring his grades back up. And so again, that's something that you wouldn't think. You know, when you listen to the father talking, he's like this really amazing student who is, you know, had a job lined up in the summertime. You know, he had all these things going on. He wanted to be a guide, etc. And he was just on top of everything, but it doesn't appear that way, does it? And this part right here. The job in Alaska had allegedly been rescinded a month before he disappeared. So the source that I have here is somebody that has a really good source. So I'm sort of like from the source to them to me, okay? But this is, I believe in this information. This sounds right to me. The job in Alaska had allegedly been rescinded a month before he disappeared. So there was no job. He wasn't doing well in school. Is he depressed? Or is this just sort of like, you know, a typical college student who, you know, they like to party and have fun, etc., right? All right, let's take a look at this one. The cops knew about the Reddit from day one because it was logged into and pulled up on his laptop when they got to the apartment. Wow. So that means it was logged into and on his laptop when they got to the apartment, and it was like, what, still open there? I mean, that's amazing, right? So that gives it even more credibility. That's something to do with him being on Reddit and posting to meet up somebody at 2:15. And remember, he goes missing at like 3, right? Somewhere right around 3 o'clock he goes missing. So it also says he was also allegedly using shrooms the night he disappeared. So I can't prove any of this stuff. I'm just telling you what somebody shared with me, and I believe that they have good information, and it makes sense. This right here, I don't know. Did he do shrooms that night? A lot of college students do shrooms and recreational drugs like that all the time. And again, that wouldn't fit into his parents' sort of ideals, right? And it says, I know there were 2 men he was talking to, and this is using those Reddit forums, right? One in his 40s and one in his 50s. So I guess apparently he had seen, you know, actually gone out on, you know, quote, dates with these 2 guys. And, you know, he's only 21 years old, Caleb. Reddit was the meeting place, and then I'm told a lot of them use an app called Wicker to communicate. So I don't know if this is Wicker right here, but it says protecting communications with end-to-end encryption, secure collaboration across messaging, calling, file sharing, and screen sharing. It's WICKR. Is that what they're talking about? Yeah, it sounds about right, doesn't it? And as you can see right here, here's outside with physics, and it looks like, you know, Kink Town. You know, they don't want you to show it at work here. And, you know, here's an encrypted post. And this says male for female, 21 years old. And here's an interesting one that kind of ties in with perhaps somebody on Reddit and having access to be able to get into this pump house. It says, hey there, I live in Corpus Christi, just down the road from where Caleb lived, went missing, and where the body was found. Heartbroken. My husband and I searched countless hours for this sweet boy. What I wanted to tell you, and am too afraid to comment, is that my neighbor worked for the city a while back. We were floored. Obviously, zero vetting was done. He made it about 6 weeks before he twisted off with drugs and hookers, it says. Of course, lost the job, however. He still has the keys that open everything in town. It's truly unbelievable. My point is, there's no telling how many people have keys like this. Very, very disturbing, to say the least. And man, that really is disturbing, isn't it? And if you go to physics, outside physics, outside _ physics 1635, I mean, he made many, many posts here. And most of the time, if you just hover over like this, it'll show you the time. This is his last post. It was on March 4th, 2024 at, it says 12:15 p.m. Pacific Standard Time, which is 2 hours later in Texas. So it was 2:15 a.m. And then this one right here is March 2nd it's actually March 3rd at 12:33 a.m. So he was looking for somebody the night before. And then this one right here is also around the same time frame. So it looks like he's in multiple forums trying to, hook up with somebody. This is also March 3rd at 12:31, just a couple of minutes before the other one. This one right here is 12:30 on March 3rd. And you can see they're all different groups. He's just trying to find somebody who he can hook up with. And this one is actually March 2nd at 9:37 p.m. Or no, it's a.m. in the morning. So you got an early start on that day. And this one is on March 2nd at 3:32. So look at that. He's up really late. Just 2 nights earlier doing the same thing. So you can just go down and look through all these. It's pretty startling. I mean, he posted for a few months, and he even has pictures of himself, or private parts and so forth in some of these images. Is January 20th at 10:48 p.m. That was his first one that he did. So maybe he got addicted to it or something over time. Don't know for sure. But let me know what you think in here. I think he was placed inside of this pump house here, into that well. That's exactly what I think. I don't think there's really any chance that he made it into the 15-inch pipe over here at this mound, and somehow his body goes all the way down this pipe and then makes this little jog here and then goes into the well. It doesn't make any sense to me. That seems like it's almost impossible. His body size is bigger and would be very difficult. So I think what they're looking for in this case is somebody connected to the Reddit posts, and this person likely took Caleb's life. Now again, this all is determined as if that is Caleb right there. I believe it's him. We'll find that out later, but I believe it's him. And I'd be shocked if it wasn't. That have a body found so close to where he lives. How it all went down, I guess we don't really know. Did the person pick him up right here and then put a gun on him and then drive, however you would get there? I think you come down a road like this and around, and then took him to this area here, had a key and said, hey, check this out or whatever, and killed him. I mean, I don't know. I don't know what the deal was there. Was this like a serial killer psycho, or was there something else going on? Somebody else didn't want their name out there, and maybe he thought he would tell that he was with him or something. Let me know what you think in the comments, though. I think this is really interesting information. We have, obviously, the parents aren't really telling us exactly how things were going in school. He may have been on shrooms, and he did have, there's 2 men that apparently law enforcement is looking into, according to the source that I have, who has another source that's the direct source. Okay, so thank you all very much for watching. Hope you appreciated the video. We'll see you on one of my live streams or one of my next videos. Okay, so hit that like button, share the video, and subscribe. Thank you all very much for being here. And as I always say, until next time, be safe out there.